In the early morning silence of September 14th, 2019, while most of England lay fast asleep, the majestic grounds of Blenheim Palace were cloaked in darkness. The historic estate, known as the birthplace of Winston Churchill, was hosting a special art exhibition that had attracted global attention, but not for the reasons anyone expected. At approximately 4:50 a.m., the stillness was shattered. A group of thieves in a pair of stolen vehicles stormed the side entrance of the palace. One van smashed through the security gates with brute force, instantly disabling the alarm systems connected to the entrance and creating a distraction. Behind it, a second van rolled in with 4 masked individuals, armed not with guns, but with sledgehammers, crowbars, bolt cutters, and drills. Their target? A fully functional toilet made entirely from 18-karat gold. Titled America, the installation by Italian provocateur Maurizio Catalan was more than just a toilet. It was a sculptural statement, a commentary on opulence, capitalism, and wealth inequality. It had already stirred controversy during its exhibition at the Guggenheim Museum in New York, where visitors were invited to actually use it, one at a time, under heavy supervision. Installed in Blenheim's lavish bathroom just 2 days before the theft, America was bolted to the floor and connected to functioning plumbing. Its unexpected presence at a British World Heritage Site made headlines, and so did its price tag, an estimated £4.8 million, nearly $6 million US. But while art enthusiasts debated the meaning of the golden toilet, someone else saw something far simpler: a mountain of pure gold just sitting behind a thin layer of security. Once inside, the thieves acted with shocking speed. They shattered the glass display case, ripped out the water lines, and began unbolting the toilet from its base. The process caused extensive flooding. Thousands of gallons of water gushed through the 18th century palace's floors, damaging priceless interiors and artifacts. Within 3 minutes, the job was done. The thieves hoisted the 96-kilogram, 211-pound, toilet into the back of their van, drove back out the same smashed gate, and vanished into the night before the police arrived. No gunshots, no guards injured, just $6 million worth of satire, gone in 3 minutes. The news broke like wildfire: golden toilet stolen from Churchill's birthplace. At first, people thought it was a hoax or some sort of publicity stunt. A gold toilet? In a palace? And someone had stolen it? But the police quickly confirmed it. This was real. The gold toilet, weighing over 200 pounds, had been ripped from the bathroom floor and whisked away under the cover of darkness. And the story was too outrageous to ignore. Late-night talk shows had a field day. Comedians joked that it was the crappiest heist in history. Social media exploded with hashtags like #toiletgate and #goldenflush. Even people who didn't care about art found the absurdity of the crime fascinating. But behind the jokes was a very real and serious investigation. And more importantly, a very real sense of loss. The artist, Maurizio Catalan, made a rare public comment. "I always hoped it would be stolen, but not like this." Art critics mourned the theft as more than just a financial blow. America wasn't just gold. It was a living, usable artwork, a commentary you could sit on. It sparked dialogue wherever it went. Now, it was likely gone forever. The damage to Blenheim Palace was also significant. Insurance covered much of it, but the flooding destroyed portions of centuries-old flooring, furnishings, and wallpaper. The emotional impact on the curators and staff was even worse. An artwork meant to challenge the elite had, ironically, left a historic symbol of British nobility in ruins. By all appearances, the thieves had pulled off a perfect heist. They left no witnesses, wore masks and gloves, and used burner phones. And most importantly, they vanished without a trace. The golden toilet was nowhere to be found. Detective Inspector Jess Milne, who led the Thames Valley Police Task Force on the case, described it as the strangest crime of her career. The initial leads were slim. The surveillance footage from inside the palace was partially disabled during the break-in, and what little remained showed only hooded figures and blurred license plates. But just a few hours later, investigators made a crucial discovery: a burnt-out van found in a rural field less than 20 miles away. It matched the description of the getaway vehicle. Inside, forensic analysts discovered what would become the key to cracking the case: a fingerprint on a shard of broken safety glass. The print belonged to James Sheen, a 40-year-old with a long rap sheet of burglary, car theft, and metal scrapping. Known to police but never convicted of a major crime, Sheen lived modestly in Oxfordshire and was considered a local hustler, small-time, opportunistic, but intelligent. When authorities raided Sheen's home, they found equipment consistent with breaking and entering, as well as schematics and maps of Blenheim Palace printed from the internet. He was arrested within 48 hours. Under questioning, Sheen refused to talk, but phone records led police to others in his orbit. Michael Jones, 39, who had several past arrests for theft and fencing stolen goods. He lived in London and drove a vehicle similar to the second van spotted near the palace that night. Fred Doe, 36, a known figure in the black market for recycled metals. Investigators believed he helped move the gold once the toilet was melted down. And Bora Gukik, 41, suspected of laundering proceeds from illegal transactions. He had no previous convictions but had several offshore bank accounts flagged for suspicious activity. One by one, the men were taken in. But the investigation hit a major twist when police discovered a set of voice notes on Jones's phone, informal recordings where he joked about stealing a golden throne. In one note, he laughed and said, "We thought it was fake, but it was real. All of it. Solid." Perhaps the most shocking part? The suspects didn't even realize the artistic significance of the toilet. To them, it was just raw gold, a heavy, shiny jackpot sitting out in the open, protected only by outdated museum security. Police later testified that they believed the artwork had been melted down within 24 hours, using makeshift smelting equipment in an abandoned workshop. From there, the gold was allegedly sold in fragments, disguised as scrap, through intermediaries across the UK and possibly Europe. Despite efforts to recover it, not a single piece of the toilet was ever found. What drives a man to steal a toilet? It's easy to laugh at the absurdity, but the truth is rooted in poverty, desperation, and a lack of opportunity. James Sheen had grown up working class, bouncing between foster homes and low-income neighborhoods. His adult life was a pattern of under-the-table jobs, petty theft, and unfulfilled potential. He wasn't stupid, far from it, but by 40, he had few options left. Michael Jones was deep in debt, owing money to dangerous people. He saw the toilet as a chance to erase everything in one night. A clean flush, if you will. Fred Doe wasn't emotional about it. To him, it was just business. He bought and sold metal for profit, legal or not. Whether it was copper wire or golden art, the math didn't change. As for Gukik, his involvement remains a mystery. Acquitted at trial, he maintains he knew nothing of the theft and never saw the toilet. He may have been a scapegoat, or he may have been the mastermind with clean hands. The truth is, the toilet represented something different for each of them. For Catalan, it was art. For the palace, it was prestige. For the public, it was a meme. And for the thieves, it was hope, money, and an exit strategy. That's what made the crime so ironic. A piece created to mock wealth inequality was dismantled by the very people it represented. Not millionaires in suits, but desperate men in hoodies, grabbing hold of gold for a better life. And in that twist, the message of America came full circle. In March 2025, nearly 6 years after the crime, the case finally went to trial. The world had largely moved on, but the art world and Blenheim Palace had not. Michael Jones was found guilty of burglary and sentenced to 7 years in prison. Fred Doe was convicted of conspiracy to transfer criminal property and received 5 years. James Sheen had already pleaded guilty in exchange for a reduced sentence. Bora Gukik was found not guilty due to lack of evidence. During sentencing, the judge called it one of the most bizarre and tragic cases of modern art theft in British history. No gold was recovered. No fragments of the toilet were traced. The trail went cold. The golden throne had vanished, melted, recast, reborn as bracelets, coins, or earrings. Somewhere out there, pieces of the satire may live on, unknowingly worn by strangers who will never know their history. Blenheim Palace eventually repaired its flaws and updated its security, but they never installed another art piece like America. Once was enough. As for Maurizio Catalan, when asked whether he would recreate the piece, he smiled and said, "No, the theft made it complete. It was always meant to disappear." In a strange way, the criminals unintentionally finished the artwork. They flushed it from satire into legend.